Thank you. And today we have Hannah Zajic from the Austrian Tourism Board in the UK. She's the Trade and Marketing Manager for the UK. And she's joining us today to talk about ANTOR's 70th anniversary. We're very excited that ANTOR has reached 70 years old this year on the 18th of July. And in fact, this is our first podcast about the anniversary in celebration of it. And what's really fantastic is that Austria was not only a founder member, but the Director of Tourism for the UK has been chairman twice, once in 1959 to 63, so a 4-year term, and a second time in 1996. Obviously, different directors, as the directors changed from 1 year to the next. So, Hannah, we're going to have a little chat about how Austria is doing in the UK, what's been going on over the last 70 years, although you and I obviously don't know all the story there, and what your vision is for the future. What's interesting is that ANTOR is only 1 year older than ANTOR. So we are the second oldest trade association in the UK, which is very, very positive to think that we have survived all sorts of things over the last 70 years. So what do you consider to be the main benefits of ANTOR membership as a destination?
I think the main benefit for me is that you have this exchange with the other national tourist offices. I mean, you might think that we are competitors, but I think it's so useful to just have this exchange with them, to be able to talk about issues that may affect us all or some of us, and to just have this communication going on throughout the year.
Yes, exactly. And that's one of the things that we promote heavily. We call it fraternity, which is a bit of an old-fashioned word, but it's still there in our constitution. And it is, I think, for new people coming from abroad, whether if you're the director or you're the trade manager, if you find your counterparts in the other ANTOR destinations, you can find out quite quickly about the marketplace as well, can't you?
Yes, and just shows as well, I think that tourism really is kind of a community and that everybody is really passionate about it. And I think this community factor is just, it's really awe-inspiring as well.
Yes, and I think we felt that over the last 18 months where we've been faced constantly with the work challenge in our lives. And I think the way ANTOR members have rallied together has been really awe-inspiring as well. So tell me about the Austrian National Tourist Office. What's your structure like there?
So the head office of the Austrian National Tourist Office is based in Vienna, so the capital of Austria. We then look after different markets, and we have 21 offices doing so. Then the markets are divided into 6 regions again. So one is looking after the Asian region, one is looking after the German-speaking regions, so Germany and Switzerland, one after the Northwest region of Europe, which the United Kingdom would be part of, one is looking after the south of Europe, one after the US and Australia, so our more markets more far away. And then we have one looking after the sea countries in Europe as well. And as an institution, we are underlying the Republic of Austria and as well the Austrian Federal Economic Chamber.
I love Vienna, so that must be a lovely place to work if you're working in head office. It's such a fabulous city.
It is. I mean, Vienna has been voted, I think, 10 times in a row as the most livable city in the world by the Mercer study. So yeah, it's a wonderful place to be able to work, but it's also fantastic to have the connection to the different markets. I think it is important to be in the markets itself, because you actually get a feeling of the culture and what people are actually looking for and want in a holiday.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when you say that there's a regional office for the Nordic part of Europe, does that mean that London covers that responsibility, or is there another office that sort of you work with?
So there's we call it the Northwest region of Europe, which includes the United Kingdom, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Sweden and Denmark. And our region manager is actually based in the Amsterdam office.
Oh, right. Okay. Wow. Great. So they've got a big portfolio to keep in touch with. But thankfully, unlike the UK market, all those countries speak English extremely well. So
Exactly.
we don't speak any of their languages very well. It's definitely not Austrian, but at least there's a common denominator there. So how long have you been? Oh, sorry. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you could look at it from a language perspective, but what we are looking is more of a cultural point of view. So, for instance, we think that the United Kingdom has probably, or is closer maybe to a Dutch person than he is to a French or a Spanish person. So, like the Southern European. Of course, then there's differences between the markets. Again, that's why we do have the market officers looking after the individual markets. It's just to kind of have like this region that is maybe more symbiotic, I would say, cultural wise than others.
Absolutely, and I definitely agree with the Dutch being very much similar to the British, and also the Scandinavians as well, especially as we have Viking blood in us anyway. So there's some roots there. So how long have you been working with the tourism office in the UK and then in general?
Well, both actually. So I started really my career in tourism with the Austrian National Tourist Office, and I started almost 4 years ago now. Yeah, almost 3 years.
Fantastic. I'm guessing you're enjoying it because you're still here.
I am very much enjoying London and getting to know the British culture, and I'm also very much enjoying representing my country. I think it's beautiful. It has a lot to offer, and I think the tourism industry, as already said, is a very special industry that I'm enjoying working in a lot.
That's good. That's good. And of course, you have a fabulous ski product as well. I've got great memories of parts of the skiing area, in particular Lech, and that's part of St. Anton and that part of your ski world. So it's a very diverse product. You know, you've got a strong summer and winter product, which is not everybody's situation.
That is true. I mean, we're still working on strengthening the summer because I think for the British market, it's still first and foremost a ski destination. So it's about 60-40% difference between summer and winter. So we're still working on promoting summer a bit more to the Brits.
And obviously, well, not obviously, but I'm sure in the future with climate change and people looking post-COVID, looking for more outdoors, back to nature, more meaningful holidays rather than just sitting on a beach. You've got all sorts of various products there that could help you push that summer aspect of the country.
Yeah, I do agree. I think people are probably looking at this time for more nature, to maybe also have kind of a relaxing holiday where you can connect with nature, but also with yourself. And we think that Austria, with the mountains and the lakes, offers the perfect destination for that. I think it's also an advantage that it can get hot, of course, in summer, but you just need to get a little bit higher into the mountains and you have a fresh, cool breeze, which is just fantastic on a hot day, to be honest.
That's fantastic, and of course you've got great wine. I love some of your white wines when we.
Yes, we have all the good things. We always say the Austrians enjoy the good things in life. Like, we do like to work, but we also like to have our time off and enjoy good food and good wine, being with friends.
That's fantastic. And what have you noticed since your 4 years? And it's a short career, but it's still been an impactful career with everything we've been through. Have you noticed specific things, changes during that time that affecting your promotional aspects or the products that you're promoting, other than the ones that we've just discussed?
Yeah, I mean, 4 years are quite a short period of time, I would say, in tourism. But yes, you could already feel that. I think people are more and more actually looking for this really experience-led holiday instead of just going somewhere, staying there and doing nothing. So yeah, we can definitely see the experience-led focus has increased a lot. And I think with the last year, even more so. We also see that sustainability seems to be on the rise for customers as well, which is fantastic news, I think. And I think that's a point where we as Austria as a destination still can do a lot more to promote it, because for instance in Austria, regional products or farmers markets are it's not really a trend, it's just how we always used to cook. And so I think that's something that we can still put really on the forefront of our campaigns as well.
Yes, and as we learned from our conference, you know, regenerative tourism is the absolute focus of the future if we want to continue as a planet, let alone as an industry. And it is, as you mentioned, it's not just creating new products, it's a lot of the time just repackaging and promoting what you already have that people just are not aware of.
Exactly.
So talking of COVID, how is Austria doing in our terms? We're saying post-COVID, the word's still very much around. How are you getting on from a sort of coming out of COVID, going back to some sort of normality?
Yeah, Austria has is basically opened up and open for tourism for most countries, I would say. The British are unfortunately not on the list of countries that can enter at the moment, just because I think we're a bit cautious about the Delta variant. But for most European countries, as well as for Canada or the US, actually Austria is open for tourism. And basically all institutions have reopened as well. There's mostly one simple rule. We call it the 3G rule. So either you have to have a proof of vaccination, you have a proof of a past infection so that you have antibodies this way, or proof of a negative test. And if you have one of those three, you can basically do everything like before COVID.
Well, that's fantastic. And yeah, hopefully there's not too many that come with proof of having had it. There's more vaccinations and negative tests because, yeah. So moving on to the future, what are your plans, as in the tourism office plans, in the next 5, 10, 15 years? I don't know, planning ahead nowadays seems to be a challenge, but do you have specific vision 2025 or vision 2030?
That's a really hard question, and because or why is this a hard question? It's because we just got a new CEO in June. So she's still getting into all the structure of the Austrian National Tourist Office, into all the themes and topics and campaigns. So I think we're still gonna know on a later date what her visions really are for the next years. What we already started to work on which is also going to be a topic in future years, is that we are changing from really a marketing office towards more of a communication house, or at least that's how we call it, communication house. What that means is that we want to go away from the classic advertising. So there's, I don't know how many peace kilometers in St. Anton's and how many huts. We want to really start from where the customer is and what he's looking for. So we want to start as well with the stories in Austria about the people and what Austria can offer for those needs in the different markets. So for instance, if we're looking at how people are longing to be more in nature, maybe have a calmer lifestyle, then we would maybe tell you the story about that in Austria there's actually the first international Austrian dark sky park declared by the International Dark Sky Association, which means that you normally can see the Milky Way. It's so dark there because they're protecting the area from light in pollution. So we really want to communicate stories now more than just traditional ads.
Oh, that's fantastic, and I'm sure that will interest people as everyone is much more interested in storytelling at the moment than as you say, straightforward advertising. I think there's more of a belief in storytelling nowadays. So do you have any other special insights or any predictions or anything you'd like to share with us other than your new communications house?
Well, I think after the last 18 months, I want to find a person who's still doing predictions, because it's so hard at the moment. I mean, we do hope for a good winter season, because the last winter season just has been horrific, I think, for everybody. So we just hope that with the ongoing vaccination progress, with more and more measures really being in place in the countries, that we can welcome guests and Brits, because they're really keen skiers and it's fantastic to have them, that we can welcome them this winter again and have a fantastic winter season. And as I said, for the future, I think that we're going to see probably a shift in holidays, people demanding more sustainable holidays, maybe thinking to go away from the classic maybe beach holiday or classic holiday where you do nothing, and looking for more meaningful holidays, as you said it.
Yeah, last year was probably the first time I haven't skied since I was in my 20s, so it was a big miss, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there like me that are just desperate to get back up those mountains. So you're very well placed. So just be patient and let us in as soon as you can.
We're working on it. We are working on it.
Thank you very much, Hannah. As ever, it's lovely to see you and lovely to talk to you. Wishing you every success over the next year with your growth and of the market, and also your communications to the market. We look forward to seeing those stories coming from you.
Thank you so much for having me, and I wish you a lot of success for the next 70 years.
Thank you very much. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Keep on the good work.
Thank you.